At Severfield, we're aware of the duty of care to all persons involved in and affected by our operations, and to the environment. Our safety, health and environmental teams have developed control procedures to not only meet legal requirements, but apply and, where possible, lead best practice. Our safety, health and environment policy statements are displayed on notice boards and available from your SHE team. Please make yourself aware of this. As a Severfield employee, we ask that you conduct yourself in a safe manner at all times, and to always consider both your own safety and the safety of those who may be affected by your actions. In order to help you do this, follow our SLAM principle. Stop for a moment, look at your area of work, anticipate what could go wrong, manage your work safely. Always be aware of the hazards around you, whether that's within the factory, in the car park, or in an office. If you feel something is not safe, stop and speak to your line manager or SHE team. Risk assessments and safe systems of work are produced for hazardous work tasks. These will be available to you for your roles, located within departments and available from line managers. Your line manager will arrange any training that you need in order for you to fulfill your role. Inform your line manager of any existing training certificates you hold. Please follow the instructions and training that's provided to you and don't attempt any tasks that you're not trained to do, as this may cause harm to yourself and others. Ensure that you complete pre-use checks of your work equipment by looking for faults. Report any defective equipment to a line manager and make sure it is taken out of use. Complete all tasks in the correct way in which you have been trained and report any concerns. Some electrical equipment within our factories emit electromagnetic fields. These don't present a risk to employees. However, you may be susceptible if you are pregnant or have a mechanical medical device. If this applies to you, please notify your line manager. Our operatives are provided with manual handling training. Wherever possible, avoid manual handling within your job by using mechanical aids provided. If manual handling is unavoidable, ensure you are using the correct lifting techniques at all times. Look for any trip hazards on your route and, if possible, tidy them up or seek assistance to make them safe. Working at height can be dangerous, and every effort should be made to complete a job at floor level. If you must work from height, obtain suitable access equipment to complete the job safely, in line with the risk assessment and safe system of work. Ensure you are trained to operate any mechanical access equipment. All areas of our factory sites are assessed for noise levels. Hearing protection is to be worn wherever instructed. In general, this is within all fabrication areas in the factory. The nature of your work may require you to use handheld vibratory tools, which, if not monitored and used correctly, can cause hand-arm vibration syndrome. Severfield strives to reduce exposure to vibration to as low as reasonably practicable, and vibration levels are always considered when purchasing tools. To aid this, we've implemented methods to monitor exposure in the workplace, to enable you to be aware of your daily exposure limits. Specific information will be provided on how this is done in your factory. You may be asked to use a vibration monitor or record the time using tools in order to keep you safe. It's fundamental that you don't exceed maximum use time for tools. You can rotate your jobs if required. It's important to use the correct tool for the task. Don't grip tools too tightly and report or quarantine any defective tools. If you experience any signs of vibration white finger, which includes loss of strength of grip and dexterity of the hand, blanching of fingers and pins and needles after using equipment, report these as soon as possible to your line manager or SHE team. Risk assessments for potentially hazardous substances are produced to identify suitable control measures. These are known as COSH assessments and are available from your line manager. We always ensure that as far as possible, engineering controls are put in place to make the job safe. If you require, you will also be issued with job-specific personal protective equipment for a task. Please report any spillages of hazardous substances to your line manager and contain and clean them up with the materials provided. Certain substances, such as paints and oils, must be stored in dedicated areas within factories to prevent misuse or being released into the environment. Severfield provides you with the approved personal protective equipment that's gone through a quality selection process. It's vital that you only wear the PPE provided to you by us and that it is worn at all times appropriate to the environment you are working in. You can store your PPE in the areas provided, and we ask that you keep it in good condition, inspect it regularly, and if your PPE becomes damaged or defective, request a replacement from your line manager. Mandatory PPE when in our factories is safety footwear, high visibility jacket or vest, gloves, hearing protection, and light eye protection. Task-specific PPE is also issued, including air-fed screens and hoods, dust masks, flame-retardant overalls, various gloves and gauntlets, disposable overalls, goggles and face shields. Operators of all work vehicles must hold the required training. When operating vehicles, keep to vehicle routes and be aware of pedestrians and other vehicles around you. All work and personal vehicles must park in designated areas and keep to the strict speed limits displayed. Pedestrians on our sites are also required to be considerate of moving plant and machinery by keeping to pedestrian routes and remembering that all vehicles have blind spots. So be cautious when near to or on crossings. We're all responsible for keeping our work areas clean, tidy, and free from trip hazards. Please work together on this, and if you come across something that can be easily corrected or cleaned up, please do so and inform your manager should this need to be brought to their attention. It's important you take notice of our health and safety signage, both inside and outside of the factory. Remember the 4 colours: blue, mandatory, what you must do; red, prohibited, what you must not do; yellow, a hazard or caution, shows a warning; green, safety messaging. If you're unsure about any of the signage, make sure you ask someone. We're an environmentally conscious company, committed to continuously improving our carbon footprint and protecting the immediate environment around our factories. Everyone working at Severfield has a level of responsibility to help us manage our environmental impact. All waste needs to be disposed of correctly and safely in the storage facilities provided. We also encourage recycling where possible. Some of our operations involve the use of solvents. To help us control the emissions being released into the atmosphere, please only use these in designated areas and make sure the lids are kept on the tins containing solvent when they are not in use. Emergency procedures are displayed on notice boards in our factories, with fire routes and muster points identified by signage across site. Please familiarise yourself with these. Help to prevent emergencies by managing combustible materials, maintaining good housekeeping, and managing hot works to ensure the safety of everyone at all times. We ask that all accidents are reported to a first aider, who can be identified by coloured or annotated overalls. The information of who these people are will also be displayed on notice boards and available from your SHE team. Reporting accidents allows an investigation to take place, appropriate to the level of severity of the accident. The purpose is to identify corrective and preventive action. We also encourage the reporting of near-miss events or incidents. Look at health and safety notice boards for information on how to do this in your factory. We provide facilities for our employees, such as kitchens and canteens, in order for you to take breaks from work. Smoking on site is only permitted within the dedicated areas. The personal use of mobile phones is strictly prohibited on the factory floor. Mobile phones are only to be used for work purposes. Linking to our life-saving rule, fundamentals, you must always be fit for work and unaffected by drugs or alcohol. We undertake occupational health screening for potential health impacts associated with hazards in our work environment, such as noise, vibration, and lung function tests. These are offered to you for your own health and safety protection and to ensure our controls are appropriate. You are required to attend these screenings when asked. We also conduct planned, random, and for cause drug and alcohol testing. Again, this is for your own health and safety protection, and to ensure that our employees are not impaired when in the work environment. At Severfield, we're committed to maintaining a safe work environment for our people. Severfield, do the safe thing.